All right, yeah, back again. Another remix episode from Flight Room TV. This is going to be a combination of the fifth quarter podcast, episode 43, the Flight Room podcast, episode 80. And I don't know, we might break off and do a little bit of overtime separately. But I am your host, Remy Please, of Flight Room TV. I'm the Lighthouse. We should be getting joined by another, members later. But yeah, let's jump into it. The Wizards just took an L. The 5-3 currently right now just took an L to the Toronto Raptors. But yeah, I mean, we started off hot. Can't be mad. Kind of a mixed bunch. A lot of new faces, new head coach, unheralded rookie getting a lot of playing time. Second year players getting a lot of playing time. Denny getting playing time coming off an injury last year. He was sitting on his ass for a little bit in the offseason. Yeah. So, do you think the Wizards are legit? Is this kind of like catching lightning in a bottle? People can't get adjust to us right now. But yeah, do you think we are legit as of right now, the Washington Wizards?
Yeah, I think the Wizards are legit. When you say legit, what you mean, like championship contender, or you mean?
I mean, no. Unless you got like
playoff team,
a big three, yeah, I don't think you're legit unless you got a big three.
Definitely a playoff team, man. I think the key thing that's because I think the Wizards made the playoffs as an HC last year, and that was with Brad and Russell Westbrook as your top two guys. But right now, Brad not the only guy that can make his own bucket. You got Kyle Kuzma that can put it on the floor. You got Dinwiddie that can put it on the floor. So you got a bunch of guys that can get their own bucket. And then outside of that, you got multiple big men who can give you hustle points. You got Montrezl Harrell. You got Daniel Gafford, a bunch of guys that's just gonna give you hustle points, can run the floor. And then we still got two more big men that's sitting on the bench right now that can eventually come in and pretty much have similar skill sets. With Rui, who can run the floor, finish, he can hit the open three. Same thing with Thomas Bryant. So I feel like this Wizards team, once they get 100% healthy, they pretty deep, man. I think they can make some noise. There's really nobody in the East that really scares me with that team. I think they can even beat Philly. It's too early to see what Chicago and New York is going to end up looking like. The Knicks look good, man. I don't know about you, but it's early in the season. But I just like the energy they play with. Like they got a lot of chemistry on that team. But outside of that, yes, I do think the Wizards are a legit team. If Brad go down, Dinwiddie gonna give you buckets. Dinwiddie go down, Kyle Kuzma gonna give you buckets. They got legit three guys that can give you, and then even Caldwell Pope, he gonna give you veteran leadership. He gonna give you a defensive player, and he could knock down the open three, yep. knock down that open three. So then he can create his own shot, even though that's not how he usually play, but he can if he has to. So you have legit 4 or 5 guys that can get a bucket. There's not a lot of teams that have that. So yeah, I think the Wizards are gonna be all right, man.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be all right. I mean, the biggest difference I could say is the change of the coach. Wes Unseld Jr., you can believe, is a different type of philosophy. We share the ball. It's not just a ball dominant Russell Westbrook. Tap 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 tap. Even Brad. I mean, in the previous years, he's going to tap and then get to the bucket, tap and pull up. He's never been a type of guy that's been too ball dominant. He's going to get a volume amount of shots. It's going to be efficient, but he's not going to, run the clock down and then rush a shot. You can tell the difference this year, even with the new guys, I guess because they come from the same team or everybody's trying to prove a point, but not being too selfish. The ball moves.
That's the key. That's the key component right there.
The ball. Shout out to Tommy Shepard. I was on you. I was on your back these past few years, but unloading that Russell Westbrook for 3 starters. I mean, Montrezl's coming off the bench, but 3 starters. They are formidable players in the NBA. Share the ball. Come from a championship team. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That goes a long way. And then you got a guy like Daniel Gafford. Last year, he was, down the stretch, was putting quality minutes in, energy player. He fits into this offense. Denny, I don't know. I got to see more for him. And then when Rui get back, I got to see how he kind of adjusts to who we have now. So Yeah.
But that, I mean, what I can see from Denny, though, like you said, it's still early, but he playing with energy. He seems to have some level of confidence,
Mm-hmm.
right now. So it's still early. It still remains to be seen with
He had a
him.
nice dunk the other day too.
Yeah, yeah,
Down the
but
baseline.
and then we even got to look we got the knockdown 3-point shooter rookie too, Kispert or whatever.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I'm
wasn't
saying?
high on that draft pick
Yeah, I
either.
wasn't either, and he hasn't really been playing like that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because we have another shooter on the team that's not even playing. That's valuable, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then we still forgetting Bertans, you know what I'm saying?
Bertans,
So
yeah.
this is a deep the squad on the low, like they can make some noise,
Yeah. I just
which
like
is
the
like
way they share the ball. I love the way they share the ball. I love
it's
how
like honestly they kind of play like the Warriors, you know what I'm saying? Like Golden State's kind of fast paced,
mm-hmm,
a lot of ball movement, a lot of shooters, open
mm-hmm.
shots. So yeah, I like what I'm seeing from this Wizards team, man. And this is Weston Unsel's first year, so just imagine, when he gets to actually build the roster the way he completely wants it to be. So, I mean, there's a lot of optimism going about this team going
Yeah.
into the future, man.
A lot of
I like
optimism.
what we're doing.
At the same point, though, like if you look at the Eastern Conference standings right now, I know it's early. It's only November, first week of November, but it's a rack of teams 6-2, 6-3, 5-3, pretty much from the third seed all the way down to the ninth seed. So it's in the thick of it right now. But certain teams you're not going to expect to be. I mean, Milwaukee is 10th right now, so.
Mm-hmm. You know that's not going to stay like
Right.
that.
The Celtics are 12th right now. The Hawks are
But
11th.
the
Like,
Celtics look like they got some chemistry issues going on right now, though. To me,
yeah.
it seemed
You
that
you
way.
think they're missing their head coach? He's being in the front office. He might
It
need
might be. It might
might need
be,
to come
man.
down.
It
Yeah.
might have to come down because this is pretty much the same roster, and then they added Schroeder. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I mean, I don't know. And then they had some good young guys like what's his name?
Reggie Williams, I like him.
Reggie Williams in the guard. What's his name? Langford. What's his name?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Romeo Langford and the other dude, the little short dude with the little. Well, I think he cut his hair. He said he played for like Vanderbilt in college and shit. Remember, he had that one big game in the tournament. I don't know why I'm forgetting
Oh
his name.
yeah, I'm blanking.
He had the dude. He had like the little dreads, and he was kind of stocky, but he was a point guard. He was dropping
Yeah.
buckets in the tournament a couple years ago. I don't know why I can't remember his name for some reason.
I'm about to tell you. Pritchard.
Nah, not Pritchard. It's another guy, man. He was cooking in the tournament the year before he got drafted. I think he went to like Wake Forest or Vanderbilt or some shit like that. One of those schools. But either way, man, they got some young guys on that team, and I feel like they should be a lot better than what they've been displaying. Kemba Walker with the Knicks now, maybe Kemba Walker being gone might be. I mean, he was hurt a lot last year, but maybe that's the difference maker for the Celtics. I don't know.
Yeah, he kind of went missing in the playoffs. That was the big, that was the writing on the wall. But yeah. All right, so moving on to we're still on basketball.
I mean, the thing with Trey Young and
Yeah.
about the rule changes.
Right. I mean, yeah, they saying offense overall is down this year by a large margin, and maybe because people are not getting these tic tac fouls, and
But what was the official rule that changed that all these players are
you
like
can't
complaining
lean
about
into a foul. Like
to
you
draw a
can't.
foul no more?
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, damn, that's what James Harden and Trey Young. That was like their shit.
Steph Curry,
Gil too. Back in the day, that was like his specialty.
master. Yeah.
He was a master at that shit. So yeah, man.
I mean,
that
if you can find a loophole in anything, if in anything, abuse it. But once they dial back that rule, you gotta adjust.
seeing those guys like Trey Young and James Harden, they can off the dribble, they can kind of fuck you up and then hit you with a fake shot that have you losing your balance and draw a foul. But now that they can't do that shit no more, it kind of take like something out their bag right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think it's like you were saying, it's like a loophole in the game that a lot of players was taking advantage of. But at the end of the day, it's like I'm not even really mad that they actually took that rule out, man, because it's like kind of like you said, guys taking advantage of the like, okay, if I lean into you, then I can draw a foul. It's like I don't know.
This is a good stat. Under the new NBA foul rules, there have been 40.2 free throw attempts per game, 39 personal fouls a game so far in the 2021-2022 season. That's the fewest average free throw attempts in league history. History. Meaning, that whole bad boys, Michael Jordan, all that type of hand checking there. Meaning less scoring. It's less scoring with the clock stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, NBA totals have produced 29 of 48 over under counts, 62% unders. Yeah, so this uh, hey, so this lets you know right now, like if you gambling, play that under, especially as teams that you might have, a perennial score out or coming off back to backs, play the under. I love it. I love people that crunch the numbers
Yeah,
like that.
I mean, make it easy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, people got to adjust, and this kind of lets the tough, gritty players, that mid range game, or I don't know. It's going to lead a whole new wave of I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the best players always adapt.
Right.
They're gonna always find a way to
If
get
not
their
this year,
shit off.
next year,
Yeah, exactly. So I
the
mean,
summers,
yeah,
the summers
it,
you get
it
better.
really it really ain't no use of feeling sorry for these guys who were benefited off the rule before. So it is what it is, man. The top tier players gonna always shine regardless of the situation. So I don't really have no problem with the rule change. It just is what it is. Because
Yeah.
there's other guys who don't have the skill set to do that shit. Trey Young and James Harden do. So you just gotta look at it like that. But speaking of changes, Calvin Ridley, switching sports, wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons, and also on my fantasy team, who I thought was going to play, definitely thought he was going to play, and I was, I'm not trying to be insensitive to the situation. I'm just saying, I thought he was playing all week, so I didn't even check my fantasy squad before that Sunday morning because I just assumed all week, no signs of everything Calvin Ridley's playing. Sunday came, it was probably about 2:00. I was like, let me see how my team doing. Calvin Ridley, 0 points, out. I'm like, out, what's going on? Said, oh, he stepped away from football for his mental health. So what do you think about that situation overall? Is it legit? Like, I mean, just what you think about it?
I don't know. Like, I don't know what's the reason
There's no
particularly
story
behind it.
behind it. No
Yeah,
one's really telling us
there's
anything.
no, and he was performing for the most, right?
While he was playing out, he's been out like a couple of weeks. I think
Okay.
he got hurt, and then he sat out the week before, and then that's when he came out with the whole mental health thing.
And
But
they haven't been piss poor like a Washington football team. So I can't put it.
It has to be something in his personal life though that's probably
Yeah.
outside of football. But and it had me thinking though because it said Calvin really steps away from football for his mental health. It had me thinking about that whole Naomi Osaka shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it was the same thing.
He's
And
not
I'm
like
thinking,
in the eye like she is.
I know that too, but I was also thinking like, okay, it just didn't really seem to be much of a story. Nobody talked about it. Nobody really said anything. So it had me kind of curious because I'm like, is it because did Naomi Osaka set a bar for athletes to use the mental health thing to step away? Because I feel like before Naomi, you pretty much was getting shamed for this. So I'm kind of surprised that it wasn't much of a story.
But what if he just trying to save his body? Like, when did he get drafted? He got drafted
2 years ago, right? 2019,
Oh, so
2019, right? I think he's only, 24?
He's
25?
26. He's
Oh,
26.
26. Okay. All right. So, yeah, man, that's the one thing I thought about, though, because, like I said, I guess it was different. Vontae Davis, he quit in the middle of a game. You know what I'm saying? But he said he's stepping away, before the game happened. So, I don't know. The only thing that I'm thinking about is I'm just
But you
kind of
can't say
curious
Naomi
it's not
because
a
like
star.
she really don't. Calvin really is not making these type of public statements and stuff. So I can't really compare him to Naomi Osaka.
No. I mean, because did she say she was stepping away from tennis because of the social pressure, or was
Yeah.
she stepping away because she lost? Because remember, she did it right after she lost. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that so what's
I mean, he
why
play for the
was
Falcons,
it?
so he lose every week.
Yeah, but what was the story though? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what was the? Because I'm surprised nobody really said nothing about this. This almost wasn't even a story at all.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of curious. It was just like it happened and then it was it. Nobody talked about it. And it's like, is this just a normal thing? Like, can everybody just say, "Hey, I'm gonna step away because of football," and no one's gonna just,
I
go,
can't wait
"Hey,
till I can use that at
do what you
work.
gotta do." That's what I'm saying, man.
I
Shit.
can't wait.
Like, I need like a week off for my mental health.
Right.
And them niggas can't fire you because they have to be respectful to your mental health.
You gonna see me at the damn beach, toes
Yeah.
out.
Hey, that shit happened at my job before. I'll tell you that.
These past few weeks have been very challenging. As much as I like to be on a football field, competing with my teammates, I need to step away from football this time to focus on my mental well-being. This will help me be the best version of myself now and in the future. I want to thank my teammates, entire Atlanta Falcons organization, our great fans, my friends, and family for all the support this time. Calvin. I mean,
We don't know what he's going through right now. You
we
know what I'm
don't.
saying?
We
We
don't.
don't. We don't know. It could be anything.
Anything.
You know, and you know, these are human beings. Like it's some shit that's probably going on in his personal life that where he
Yeah.
can't even focus on the field. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
obviously, you know, it might be a family. I'm assuming this is a
And he's
family
not even
issue.
like, it could be. And you don't want to
Because
be a chatty patty either, too.
and he ain't out. I mean, but he, you know, from what we can see, Calvin Ridley's not like an out there type dude anyway. You know what I'm
At
saying?
all.
So
Low
I
key.
mean, yeah. So I mean, he got some shit going on with his family. I'm assuming. You know, I could be wrong, but it's a personal issue clearly, so I can't really judge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, so speaking about out there niggas, Henry Ruggs, also
Out there, niggas.
wide receiver.
Also on my fantasy team, I lost two wide
Damn,
receivers. Lost
why you
two.
down bad?
I lost two wide receivers this league for non-football related shit.
Oh my god. Well,
Lost two.
I got Derek Carr, so
Yeah.
Waller's been out the last week, and then this dude's about to be out. So like, who are you gonna pass to? Fucking Hunter Renfro?
He
Can't
got
do it.
waived, so Henry Ruggs probably who knows when he's gonna play again. He
He's
got waived.
probably not gonna play ever again. I don't think so.
Yeah, they waived him. He's straight up. He's not even on the team no more.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna play ever again, at all.
Mm.
He got in you have felony charges pending against you for driving under the influence of alcohol resulting in death. So that's vehicular homicide or manslaughter or either or, depending how you. But they clocked him going 156 miles per hour in a Camaro. I don't know how he survived. Camaros are made of.
How you going 156 any goddamn where? You know what I'm saying?
In a residential area too. They say he was on Rainbow. He was on Rainbow Boulevard. I don't know if you've been on Rainbow Boulevard in Vegas. Shout out to Vegas. I've been on there a few times. But yeah, 156. That's like saying 156 on like.
Yeah, give me something I can relate to.
On like University Boulevard.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you wilding to the fullest cut. Like, but it's like, nigga, you in a sports car already, which already drawing attention to you. Then you like, that's just ridiculous.
And they say they pulled his tab at he was at Topgolf, leaving Topgolf, and he had like 10, 14 some drinks.
Bro, and then what makes it worse is like if he was leaving the night, this nigga left Topgolf. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a night. It wasn't like a nightclub. Like,
what was you doing out there?
Like, relax, nigga. Like it's Topgolf, nigga. Like, goddamn. Like, come on. Man, that's a whole. And then, he a young dude. He was. How old is he? What?
Like 22.
So yeah, come on, man. Like throwing his whole future away, and
it's
then
gone. It's gone.
And then on top of that, he had this story. I know you heard when he was in college. Like he had like a teammate or a friend of somebody, I think, that passed in like a car accident, a similar situation, I think. And I remember they did like a college football Saturday morning special on Henry Ruggs, like talking about like, so like that's what makes it even worse. You know what I'm saying?
That's terrible.
That's horrible, bro. I don't like, it sucks. Prayers out to a person who lost their life. One thing I just don't like to see is when people like lose
innocent
so much
people.
potential. Yeah, I mean, innocent, and then just someone with just so much potential, just just not being realized. You don't even got the opportunity to be the best you. Off of one mistake that you made. One night. And that's something to think, bro. One decision, one night, will change your whole fucking life, bro. You can have the potential to be the greatest nigga on earth, and make a bad decision and fuck it all up.
OG Wallow on $1 Million.
Yeah, I already know what you're about to say. Yeah. Fact, 100%. Nigga, 10 seconds of making a bad decision or 10 seconds of a bad act could send your ass to jail for 10
How much time
years.
you put in? What have you for real? How much time you put in them?
Yep, that's some real shit. So. Man, prayers out to everybody in this situation. Even though Henry was being, I guess irresponsible and reckless at the end of the time, it just sucks to see somebody, waste their potential. And prayers out to the person that lost their life, man. Just simple as that.
And their family and all of
their family and everybody, because it's a tragic situation on all sides.
Yeah, these gotta be the times like when those like rookie symposiums and stuff like that. It's like essential. And you really gotta be. I don't know, taking notes or taking heed, or I don't know. People just don't really realize the shit till it's too late. So,
Hey, but you don't think
and then
like
sometimes like he has to play this role to be example for other people too.
that's what I was about to say. It's like almost sometimes people got to be casualties to teach other people not to go down the same path. You know, like I feel
And we
like
thought we had it with Dante Stallworth, but a nigga Dante Stallworth was a veteran at that point when he ran over somebody in Miami.
mm-hmm.
But this dude's a young dude, didn't even have his
and
second contract. Like,
even the Dante Stallworth shit, it was like one of those like freak situations because the dude was walking across a highway. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody walks across highways, so it was like just an unfortunate. But he in the basically
right,
residential area
wilding,
going wilding, like so.
156.
156 is now. I don't think I've ever gone 150. I've never gone that fast in a vehicle, so I'm just like I don't know, bro. That's crazy.
125.
Yeah, he said 125. I might hit 125
on 50 south.
But 50, nigga, everybody flies on 50.
Yeah.
Come on. That's what 50 is almost made for, kind of.
Yeah,
Goddamn.
and I'm definitely not doing it off of fucking 10 drinks
Shit.
at Top Golf where they in your hometown where they gonna be heavy handed. No.
And that's part of the problem. They're like, oh, we got Henry Ruggs, hook him up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Make sure.
And shame on them too for giving that man
18 drinks. They should have known.
Yeah.
And the thing is, once they going to track that shit back to Top Golf, and whoever was
just
the
like
bartender,
they shut down Hooters on Rockville Pike.
Nigga, I was at Hooters the last night.
And H2O.
Yep. I was at that Hooters the last night before they closed that joint.
Oh, wow.
The last night at the Hooters. That Hooters was there for fucking, that was like a famous joint. Got shut down because somebody gave a dude too many drinks and it killed a cop. You know what I'm saying? And they shut that shit down. To this day, that joint's still sitting there, nothing.
Yep. The same thing with H2O. The one girl, was underage and she was drinking and she got in a wreck. But yeah, speaking about dysfunctional organizations, let's go to Washington football team. Let's recap our last week, moving into the bye. Yeah, so like where are we at? We meddling in the mud. It said we would have rumors of trying to go for Mitchell Trubisky. I had no problems going for that.
I would have no problems with that.
Yeah.
I've always been rooting for that nigga. Like, I'm just being real.
And he actually done us up in that last game that we played against them when he was with Chicago. It was like a primetime game. He done us up. But and he actually looked good in the preseason too. I know preseason, but yeah. But we swung a miss on that. I don't know like what was the asking price, but of course, like next year, you're not going to be comfortable with these quarterbacks moving forward. Are you going to draft one? Are you going to force Aaron Rodgers situation? Aaron Rodgers missing this week due to COVID is because he's posting all them hot boy pictures.
Probably
with being John Wick, and allegedly you might not be vaccinated too, Aaron Rodgers. Could that be the backlash?
It could be.
Bryce Love, I'm excited to see all of that, but I know I'm talking about all that shit. But to get back to it, Washington football team, where are we at right now? Goddamn, Montez Sweat's about to move. He's about to miss a month because of a fractured jaw. Yeah. So where the fuck we at right now?
Well, I will say that before I get into us, Aaron Rodgers been flexing as of late. He been speaking his mind.
Yeah.
So I
said that last year.
I'm not surprised at all that all of a sudden now he got COVID because that nigga been speaking out. He been going against the wokeness and all that shit. He been letting the nuts hang a lot as of late. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, Washington football team, man, it's like every damn week. Like we don't look like we're the worst team, but we just can't get it together. It's like how many games have we lost this year where you can clearly say like them niggas is just better? Probably just the Kansas City game, right? I don't think there was any other game where every day we just was.
The Bills. The Bills looked up.
Oh, the Bills.
I don't think Kansas City looked like head and shoulders better.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like just typical Redskin shit. It's like we beat ourselves, we shoot ourselves in the foot. Yep. That motherfucking Heineke shit with kneeling on the 1 yard line. I'm still mad about that shit.
And then signing the kicker that's blew it. And then Hopkins get picked up 2 days after. He gets blocked 3 times in 2 games. Like he was the scapegoat. So that seems all like an organizational head coach leadership problem.
I agree.
Personnel problem. Like why are you like
even the whole trying to trade Landon Collins shit all of a sudden? It's like we know he wasn't playing that great at safety. You moved him to linebacker, the nigga performed phenomenal. We lost, and now it's like let's trade Landon, which means you're looking for a scapegoat.
Exactly.
But
all
is
the,
that Ron? Is that Ron?
I think it is. I think it is Ron, and Ron is actually taking this fan base for granted. I said in the past, this fan base actually, we can see the product on the field. Like we're kind of a smart fan base. Like we know when we're being bullshit or not. So I
No,
can
I
say that.
mean, like I said, man, patterns, bro. You got to pick. Like Ron Rivera did this shit last year. He was like, Haskins is our guy. Then when all of a sudden he threw
We're not
Haskins under the
stupid,
bus.
bro.
He should have had. He like literally changed the whole narrative of the season overnight, and then threw Haskins under the bus. Same thing happened this season. We ain't winning. Throw Dustin Hopkins under the bus. Now all of a sudden, now it's Landon Collins. So what
But
I'm
not
getting from
Heineke.
but the one thing that I will say about this whole situation is that once now that the trade deadline is over, it's going to be a coach next. Like nigga, we lose 2 more games, one of these coaches is gone, and I wouldn't be surprised if this part is. See, I think he fucked with Jack Del Rio. Scott Turner is like his little protege, so it's probably going to be the special teams
He
coach.
can be the first to go because like some
I
of
don't
those
like
like
Scott Turner, bro,
third
at
down,
all.
second down
I don't like his play calling.
decisions.
I don't like
It's,
none of his. I don't
yeah.
like his style at all, bro. I don't
And
like
then
his.
even the last go ahead, chance to even tie or win the game, wherever. Why are we throwing not in the end zone? 3 plays back to back, 4th play back to back. We're not throwing it in the zone. That has to
I
be
don't.
coaching. It's not the player.
I don't understand at all. And even the Heineke, man, my
He ain't getting
experience
better.
being, but not even just that, but my experience being a Redskins fan through I've never seen a nigga just get away with like just the shit that Heineke do. Like every, and I'm not even trying to just make it a race shit because every interception that Kirk threw, niggas was like, oh fuck Kirk Cousins. Meanwhile, Kirk Cousins is in Minnesota right now with like 2 interceptions and 16 touchdowns, like some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
like, and
Heineke
we
is
had him.
11-9 on the season.
But that's the point. And even 11-9, like we've had quarterbacks who've had similar numbers and it was getting trashed. And like and don't get me wrong, like people ain't like necessarily treating Heineke like he's the savior, but also no one's like treating him like he's the problem either. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And in Washington, it's always the quarterback's fault when we lose, no matter how good he's
I
playing.
mean, how can you not point to the offense? The last 3 games, 13 points, 10 points, 10 points. It's the offense.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
the
the
offense.
defense is showing signs of life. Like they seem to
Right.
be getting better every single week. They started off slow, but you've seen the shit starting to come together a little bit with the defense. So I mean, yeah, man. But as far as going into the rest of the season, I mean, we trash. We probably just going.
Yeah, hang it up.
What do you expect at this point? We 2-6. What do you expect at this
Hang it
point?
up. Put Gibson up. You playing with a stress fracture? Hang it
All
up.
right. All right, so I know we've been talking about St. Juice like every week. So what do you think? I know he got burnt like last week. He didn't have his best game last week. Do you still think he has potential, or are you just at this point like, nah, he just don't have it?
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not kicking him to the side. Also, like I don't want him to be too shell shocked either,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what could happen to like a young
that
guy.
could happen. I feel like that was kind of happening last week a little bit, But
yeah, because he's kind of reacting a little bit too early and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I don't want him to be shell shocked at all. But yeah. Speaking about shell shock in my betting history last week, let's go ahead with the Stone Cold Locks of the Week. Stone Cold Locks of the Week. Each and every Wednesday, we give you one lock to pick. Make sure you bet in even units.
Who you got?
I'm going to take. Damn, man. We even talking about. Okay, we got to do a recap too of last week.
All right, well, go with your recap first.
No, I'm talking about just a regular NFL recap. Damn.
I mean, these games this week ain't as obvious as last week because I knew the Bills was going to demolish them
and the Jets. Yeah,
them niggas was going to get smashed. The one game that surprised me last week was
the Jets
being the Bengals, nigga. I didn't see that shit coming at all.
Especially on parlay.
Especially the way that they beat the Ravens right before that. So that shit was crazy.
I'm going to take the Chargers -2 over the Philadelphia Eagles. 4:00 game in Philadelphia.
You got the Chargers over the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Man, give me Green Bay over Kansas City. I think Kansas City's
With Bryce
done.
Love?
Oh shit! Damn, you're right. We just talked about that. You're
I mean,
right.
Bryce.
You're right. No, Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. Yeah.
We just
I keep
talked
doing
about that. You're 100% right. Damn, none of these games is fucking obvious. Like none of these games is obvious.
I am excited
Buffalo,
to see him though.
give me Buffalo over Jacksonville. There we go.
Buffalo, Jacksonville, minus
give me
14
Buffalo.
and a half.
Yes, because Jacksonville ain't doing shit. Niggas ain't doing nothing.
I would try to buy that down too. If I was betting on it, buy it down to probably 13 and a half.
They ain't doing shit. We'll see. I have no idea what Green Bay's offense is going to do, but I will say
I'm excited.
Them niggas is running like shit this week. They got motherfucking Aaron Jones. They got AJ Dillon. They got like a 3-headed monster at running back, so they will be running the ball like shit this week. They're going to try to protect Jordan Love the best that they can.
Anything else popped out week 8?
Week 8, man. I don't know. Like I said, that the Bengals losing to the Jets, that was probably the biggest thing that stood out to me for the week. I can't really think of nothing else off the top of my head. You got anything? Should have probably started there.
You're right. The Eagles put up a rack of points, 44-6 on the Lions.
Lions they are terrible.
Oh, the Titans a duel in overtime lost Derrick Henry possibly for the rest of the season.
And Jameis Winston. Didn't they say he's going to be out for the season too?
Towards ACL. Trevor Siemian, maybe Taysom Hill will be back next week, and you would assume he would. But his style of play, with the depending on how bad the concussion is, the Seahawks won big with Geno Smith. Russell Wilson start taking his first steps in rehab a couple of days ago. The Cowboys won a big game in Minnesota with Cooper Rush.
Yep.
It was a lot.
That says a lot, though, for them to beat the Minnesota with Cooper Rush. That says a lot about that team. Right. So that means the Cowboys is for real. I don't want to say it, but it's the truth. They are.
Right.
They are.
His first NFL start, and they beat the Vikings on the road
without Dak.
Primetime game. Pretty tough. Tom Brady lost to the Saints through a pick 6 to seal the game, but still put up 4 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara didn't go crazy, but Trevor Siemian somehow beat Tom Brady. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots went over to the San Diego. Mac Jones beat the Chargers. Crazy.
I mean, what do you think about Mac Jones so far?
He just looked like the typical Patriots quarterback.
Yeah.
Systematic.
He's just running the system.
Yeah. They're going to be opportunistic on the defense. They're going to run the ball. They're just going to try and minimize turnovers. I mean, that's all you can ask for.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then, goddamn, Von Miller got traded to the Rams.
Von Miller got traded to the Rams. Von Miller ain't the same Von Miller no more, but I mean, it just adds
depth. I bet he's going to be Von Miller on the Rams.
It adds depth to that team. It adds a lot of depth to that team, and he still has a presence in the locker room. It's just going to give him more confidence and make them a better team overall. So, and right now, I think, man, we got to recap our preseason picks for who we thought was going to win the Super Bowl. And all that
I got to look back into this
because I think I had the Rams as my team in the NFC. AFC, I think I picked the Chiefs. And I ain't looking
Green Bay.
That ain't looking good right now for the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? So we will see, man. We will see. NFL football, man. You never know how it's gonna go.
Ever. Okay, we can jump into.
I mean, we on football right now. We might as well, keep it football, but more, societal, and get into this whole Colin Kaepernick shit. Did you see the Colin Kaepernick documentary?
I actually did. I watched all of it. What in the racial my player? That's what it kind of looked like to me. The racial my player.
The racial my player. Yeah. Now explain that because I feel like I know what you're talking about. But go ahead though. Expound on that. What
you play like 2K and you like have the whole storyline and shit.
Yeah.
Like leading up to the shit. So he was like detailing his sports upcoming, but it had all these racial, interjections in it. I'm like, bro, like, come on, like, y'all forcing this shit down my fucking throat.
I agree, but the funny thing that you're saying about that, I do agree. But we're acting like there's not interracial players all in all. So like we're talking about fucking Clay Thompson, these niggas exist.
I'm just mean like the whole like, not, I mean interracial, I mean biracial like
biracial,
players,
yeah.
but I'm talking about the racial undertones of oh Colin, why don't you be Dontrell Willis? You know what I'm saying? Like all this stuff, like oh why don't he's in a hotel lobby and they like saying, oh please don't steal these cookies from us and stuff like that. People being threatened by him and stuff like
Oh,
that.
that shit. Okay, I got
Yeah,
you now.
it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah. I
so
know what
much
you mean.
like and it opened up with like the scene of like the combine and stuff like these players are being measured like slaves being so sold and shit like that. Like, nigga, you signed up for this shit. What the fuck?
But not even just that. Like, man, come on, man. It's like just the image right there, that big ass afro. Like,
oh yeah, with the
like,
turtleneck
bruh,
and all that. Yeah. Like, why, like,
why are you
why
trying
are
to convince?
you?
It's like you're trying to convince me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, nigga, I don't need you to tell me who this, and this is.
I don't know. That just whole situation. I mean, I didn't see the joint, but I can just tell just overall. You know what I'm saying? I already knew what it was kind of going to be because I have an idea what I think this whole Kaepernick shit is about. So I'm not surprised by your perspective.
What do you think the idea is?
Well, you said what?
What is the idea?
Well, Colin Kaepernick, the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's just perpetuating more victimization. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a whole generation of people who aren't dealing with the same oppressions or the same blatant direct oppressions that our great grandparents was dealing with. So, but you still have to have this mentality of people feeling like that they're being oppressed. So like now you have to have somebody to just bring it on to this, like passing that baton on to the new generation. So the same shit that people our generation are walking around complaining about can't hold a candle to what they was dealing with back in the day. You know what I'm saying? But you can't. But based off the shit that Colin Kaepernick's projecting, you would think that it was the same shit, and it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, they fought for something, bro. Like we didn't tell. You know what I'm saying? Like they made it a little better for us. Give them some credit, like compared to the shit that people was going through back in the day. So I don't know. So, and be completely real, like something about this whole it doesn't seem authentic, bro. It seemed like plantish, you know what I'm saying? like homeboy got a job to do, you know what I'm saying? It's not him, just not, it's not like free expression, it's more like narrative painting, you know what I'm saying? So
I mean, it was pretty much all in the opening scene. Like he's talking on the NFL Combine. NFL players are measured and scoped. You know what I'm saying? They pick before they're sold, and you know what I'm saying, wagered on and stuff like that. But like, bro, this is the same NFL you was drafted to and was trying to get back into.
And trying to get back into. And that's the key thing about it. It's like, all right, so the NFL is so oppressive that you was trying to get back into it.
It don't make sense.
Don't make no sense.
I mean, I can understand like the whole, colorism shit that you probably like grew up with, but
even the colorism thing, like who's doing that to you though? Who's giving you that, and who's creating that insecurity that you have, or whatever it may be. The whole colorism thing, where is that coming from?
Him, his folks, his parents. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who actually was a person? Where did that come from? So I don't know, but.
And I also peeped, like he really didn't have his siblings and stuff portrayed in the whole doc.
I heard that he was like kind of going on his parents too in the joint.
Yeah, he was going on his parents.
He was trying to say like they were like racist or something.
No, I don't think racist. Just
oblivious. They meant well, but they just didn't understand how.
Yeah, just oblivious.
Like being insensitive to black things. I guess you would say.
I mean, yeah, he was adopted, and they kept saying that and how he felt as adopted. I mean, as a young kid, you
can understand that. I think anybody who's adopted is probably gonna have identity issues because you're being raised by your non-biological parents. It makes sense,
especially in a whole different, dynamic like that. But like, I didn't see none of his siblings portrayed in the documentary or whatever, the My Player experiment. But I ain't see none of that shit.
And you know what's so funny? Like even when the whole Kaepernick shit was going down, initially I was with him. I was like 100%. Like, oh yeah, he doing this thing. But there was this thing in the back of my mind said, okay, hold on. When did this? Why all of a sudden now that he's pro-black and he's fighting for the black people, now he grows an afro, he start wearing like dressing like a Black Panther. That's what made my like kind of spidey senses go up. Like nigga, I'm with you, but like it's almost like you're playing a character. So that's where the second guessing came in, because it was like, bro, I know a lot of people who feel the same way that you do, and they don't have afros, they don't wear leather jackets with turtlenecks, and they all feel the same fucking way you do. So it's like, bro, you ain't gotta do it. You can still get your message across, and you don't have to look that way. So that was the part that kind of had me like a little skeptical. So then when you say it looked like that in the documentary, I'm not surprised. I wish we had somebody else who actually like thought this was necessary, or thought this was good, and could, give their point of view.
Because I would like to, when I like look at stuff like this, I would like to see like multiple
perspectives on the shit,
sides of it, because I'm like maybe this the young dude that was acting, it was pretty good. Kind of sound like him too. I just like the whole my player story coming up, all that stuff. But I enjoyed that, but it's just like it
didn't feel authentic to you.
Yeah,
it didn't feel authentic at all. It's like they were trying to paint a narrative.
Yeah, it had to be a story. Like every other scene was like, okay, there's like some racial undertones. Like how many? What I mean?
All right, so that scene when you said that they said they was at a hotel and they was like, oh, we're not going to steal anything.
It was like 3 different times. Yeah.
Right, but this is what I'm saying. Like I'm black, right? And I don't be experiencing that shit all the fucking time. Like, as a matter of fact, sometimes I might assume that somebody think I'm gonna steal something, but don't nobody just straight up say, "Don't you steal that?"
Right.
Like, but that shit don't happen in real life. I might in the back of my mind think, "Oh yeah, I'm black."
A white dude in the show said, "Oh, you're much better than the other ones." I was like, "What? Who says that?"
No one. I know. I've never heard that before, but I have.
And he's probably a little younger than us too, right?
He's younger.
And he's not. Us. He wasn't raised in the deep south or nothing like that, or I don't care. Like even if it's somebody's that like passive aggressive and shit like that, you're not gonna pick up on all that shit as like a 13, 12-year-old and shit like that.
Especially, and not even that, especially like put it like this, like a lot of my whole perspective on racism came from my black parents. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they kind of put that in my head and made me aware of it, had me looking, kind of almost had me looking for it, you know what I'm saying, to validate the shit they was telling me. But he was raised by white people. You know what I'm saying? I know they wasn't telling him like, oh, there's racism everywhere. You see what I'm saying?
So got stopped by the police and everything too. Driving, got stopped by the police with his white parents.
On the show? Like, or you talking about that happened in real life or before this? So you mean
I don't know if it happened
So you're saying on the documentary, and this, it was real life Colin Kaepernick with his family getting pulled over by the police.
No, it wasn't him, but his, the actor playing.
Oh, so he was reenacting something.
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say, I thought they was trying to say like Colin Kaepernick was his family today, was driving down the street and got pulled over by the police on the documentary. I was like, nigga,
it's not like a documentary. It's like a whole, reenactment of his life.
Reenactment. Yeah. I got you.
So they had a little kid playing his life through like from freshman year all the way till freshman year of college.
Yeah,
that's pretty much.
I will say though, I have experienced like people saying shit like, oh, you guys are so well behaved. Like when we was kids, you know what I'm saying? Like I remember people used to always say like, oh, you guys are really well behaved, like almost if they were surprised. I did used to hear shit like that. I ain't gonna lie, but that's that's part of it. And then even if we're gonna talk about the race shit and racism and prejudice, I mean, we've experienced that shit from everybody. It wasn't just white people, nigga. Everybody was doing that shit. Like, nigga, I went into a fucking little convenience store and the Asian lady was like, hurry up and buy. Literally in real life, it was like standing behind us and watching us, trying to make sure we wasn't stealing shit. But that wasn't like I'm saying. It was, like everybody was doing this shit. It wasn't just like getting teased by people. And all races was shitting on this nigga in school. Like it wasn't like like just strictly like black and white thing, nigga. Like the perspective of black people amongst all cultures is pretty negative. You know what I'm saying?
And
like,
then we do it in reverse.
And then we do it to each other. And then we do it to each other the same fucking way. Yeah. So I mean, so it's like everybody be shitting on black people, even black people. It's like if you want to feel better about yourself, shit on the black, like including blacks. It's crazy.
And then we do it in reverse. We'll shit on them.
Yeah. So yeah. It's open. It's free game out here, man. I guess
Just stop being so fucking soft.
Sensitive. Stop being so goddamn sensitive.
It's crazy because I was watching Beverly Hills Cop 2 at the barbershop today, and just how Eddie Murphy was talking to everybody, cussing them out, and people just so accepting of being cussed out and shit. Like nobody was catching feelings and shit. It was just a different time back then.
I mean, it's funny because even when you watch a bunch of those 80s movies, like motherfuckers would just be cussing niggas out and they be like, ha ha ha, moving on. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you watch like Coming to America and watch how they interacted, everybody was pretty much talking shit the whole movie. You know, and that's New York, bro. You've been in New York. You know how New Yorkers talk. Like that's just how they talk. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
but he was in Beverly Hills just talking shit to everybody.
Yeah.
On Rodeo Drive just talking shit. And even like the his police chief, and people don't know he was like an actual, police, police. That dude that was hired in that movie. He was just talking shit. It was authentic. How people talk to people back then.
Oh yeah, you talking about when he was on the little tour bus joint, right? You talking about Beverly Hills Cop when he got on top of like the little Hollywood joint, like it was like a little tour bus.
Nah, when we had to report back to the dude in Detroit.
But he was on the bus. You talking about that part?
That part, and in the second part when we had to ask for more money and shit.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's the actual police chief. I think he was actually tied up into the whole white boy Rick shit too.
Probably. Yeah. Wow, shit. Well, since we already on the topic, Colin Kaepernick, he definitely touched on that shit a lot during the documentary. I mean, or the what do you even want to call that? Like a,
I don't know. Like also the lady, miniseries. That's what it is. Okay. Ava DuVernay. Yeah, she's behind all that stuff.
Yeah,
so she directed it. But yeah, go ahead.
But just staying on the topic, Colin Kaepernick, touched definitely on being interracial or biracial. You know what I'm saying? Biracial. So do you think that just in general, do you think biracial people have identity issues? We definitely had this whole trying to figure out what the right word was all before this shit. I mean, do you think biracial people have identity issues? Do you think there's some legitimate?
I do think so. I do think so. If you look at our specimen right here, Tiger Woods, he was also, didn't he like came out and said, I'm mostly Asian than like how do you even
cobbling Asian or some shit like that?
Yeah. I don't know what that means. I don't know. I just think just how you raised. I don't think like whatever the dynamic of like 75%, 25%, 50%, 60%. I don't know. I don't think none of that shit matter. I just think it is how you raised.
Yeah. Even within that, I think just the whole identity issues. I feel like it's only natural you're gonna always have identity issues because you're trying to fit into two different groups. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I'm half black and Asian, so now you with the black people you want to fit in. But there's two different cultures. It's like trying to fit into two different cultures, and some of those cultures might have like certain things that might not even like they might what's the word? They conflict. You know what I'm saying? So like that can just cause a lot of confusion within itself. I've heard people like I remember even watching All the Smoke, and Matt Barnes was talking about being around the black people and not feeling black enough, being around the white people not feeling white enough. So I mean, I think that's a natural thing. And, even identity issues, I think when you play into stereotypes a lot, I think that can cause a lot of identity issues too, because, especially if you're not immersed into, like, let's say you're mixed or whatever. If you're not, if I'm black, but I'm, if you actually are hanging around or you're involved with one side more than the other one, like if I'm half white, but I, raised by my white family, I don't even know how to engage with black people other than what I see on TV. So then my way of, feeling blacker is trying to be like what I see on TV. And then you end up, being a caricature of what blackness is. And that's how you identify with it. And we see that a lot. I feel like a lot, especially with celebrities, that's why sometimes a lot of these celebrities blindly, go into certain movements because they thinking like Naomi Osaka will blindly go into a movement because she thinks in her mind she's standing up for people, even though she really don't know nothing about, the issues. It's just that's her way of, being closer to her other side, even though she wasn't raised that way, but, that's her way of,
right.
I feel like interracial people biracial people. I feel like biracial people are the ones who are like the easiest to get caught up in social movements based on race. You know what I'm saying? Because they think that,
it's just
a person of a person of a certain race is like, oh, okay, black people think this. So in order for me to be black, I got to fit into that box. But a person who's really black knows that I don't have to fit in any box because I'm black regardless of what you try to put me in. But a person who's might see them might be biracial feel like they have to fit into a certain stereotype of a certain box, to feel like they're black, if that makes sense, or whatever race they try to fit into.
Yeah, but I think it goes deeper than actually the dynamic of the pink spill of black and white and all that stuff. Is literally how you're raised and your environment that you come up in. Like even if you are your people's is your mom's is whoever, and your pops is whoever. It's like what, like how did you grow up? Like what scenario was it? Did you grow this? Did you grow over here? Did you grow up over here? It's a lot of dynamics in the shit.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that because, like, even if I'm a white dude and I grew up in an all black neighborhood and shit, I'm just
Exactly.
going to be able to identify with black
Right.
people. You know what
Even
I'm
if you
saying?
all white,
Even
yeah,
if you all white, you still.
yeah.
So yeah, I do agree with that. I mean, I think that also plays a part into just in any race, like whatever the
Mm-hmm.
stereotype or the general standard it is for your people. Like if you're not doing that, like if I'm black and black people like to play basketball, but I like to play fucking cricket. You know what I'm saying? People are like, oh, black people don't play cricket, nigga. What's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? So now all of a sudden I have identity issues because I have a connection with something that may not be something that black people in America do culturally or whatever the fuck it may be, any race. So I think a lot of identity issues come with that. Like, I've had people, even say shit like, oh, I was into anime and I used to get teased because I was black and I was in the anime, and now all of a
Yeah,
sudden
it's a lot of
I did
y'all now too.
I didn't feel like I was connected to the black community because I like anime so much. It's just that type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, oh, does anime define you as a black person? Whatever the fuck your race is the TV shows you like, or the does that define who you are? You know?
True. The whole black card.
Yeah, the whole black card. Because put it like this, we can be like, oh, black people like this black show, but it could be produced by a white person. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the fucking day. So it's be like, oh, you're not black, you don't like this show, but it's like, nigga, at the end of the day, that show is produced by,
Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer. Exactly. Exactly. So I mean, at the end of the day, like we shouldn't define. I mean, I don't think we should define ourselves by what shows you watch and shit like that. From my perspective, it's just whatever's in your blood at the end of the day. But
right.
No matter how you act and what you're into, you are what you are. I don't. Like, nigga, you don't like 50 Cent, you ain't black, nigga. Like, nigga, you voted Republican, you ain't black,
Yeah,
what I'm
that's the.
saying?
I
It's
think
like,
that's
yeah,
the biggest. Yeah.
it's like that kind of shit,
You don't like fried pork chops, and that was also in the Kaepernick jump.
Mm-hmm.
His hairdresser gave him fried pork chops.
Oh, it just coincidentally. Okay, all right, yeah.
And his mom's ain't cook with seasoning and shit like that. It was so stereotypical.
Oh, for real? Yeah. They didn't even have to put that in there. Like, come on, man.
He was like, "Oh, he loves salt." And he's like, "Just don't need it."
I gotta watch this shit. I have to watch it. Damn.
I was just watching because it was like almost like what do you call it? Like satire.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost like that.
It's funny because I heard somebody else say that, and they said it seemed like some some Saturday Night Live, like it was basically saying if it wasn't intent, they basically saying like if the intentions wasn't for it to be serious, you would think it was supposed to be funny. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It was hilarious to me. But I know, I just liked how it kind of looked like a my player jump.
That's interesting.
Damn, I do wish somebody that actually liked it and can explain it from their point of view, kind of teach me, because I wasn't.
I know, I'm sure.
All right, so you talking about Kaepernick's mother and not mother, his parentals, and this kind of like ties into like old topics we talk about, this whole critical race theory and stuff like that. There was a recent article saying that this lady, I think it's local too, I think it's like Loudoun County or some shit like that, where she said that her 6-year-old came over and said that she thinks she's evil.
Oh, I didn't hear about it, but I get what you're trying to say. Cause you talking about the whole critical race theory shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I hearing somebody saying like critical race theory is gonna make white people think that like white people are innately evil or some shit, and like that it's like not healthy to make white people feel bad or some shit like that about the past, some of that nature. Oh, this is in Loudoun County. On top of that,
There you go. Yeah. Loudoun County mother, my 6-year-old somberly came to me and asked if she was born evil because she was a white person, something she learned in a history lesson at school. What history class is a 6-year-old in? Answer me that. Ain't you
I
do?
don't know, nigga. Was we learning history in at 6? I
Fuck
remember.
no.
I feel like from when I remember being in school, the first so-called history lessons was probably like second or third grade when we was like talking about the Native Americans and
Right.
like
Thanksgiving and shit.
yeah, like Thanksgiving. I think that's kind of how they start history with us. They start with like Thanksgiving and all that shit. But I want to say at least second or third grade is around the time. I think third grade is when we start like learning about that type of shit. But I don't know, bro. I don't know what the shit that they teaching these kids in school. We don't know, man. We don't know. It's a different world. The teachers who was teaching us ain't the same as the teachers that's out now. So
I
it's
do know
all
they. I think they be talking about political, like at the basis. Like I know I heard my kid come home in previous years talking about Trump. I'm like, bro, you don't even know who Trump is.
yeah. And my son is definitely said to me like, yeah, from when I'm learning in school, like people were really bad to black people. White people were really bad to black men and black people and women. My son straight up said that he was like, it seems like white people are really bad to black men and women, or black people and women.
Hmm.
Well, I guess that's what they teaching.
Evil though.
Oh, nah, that's what I'm saying. But so, all right. So my question is, what is the benefit of teaching young white kids that they're evil?
Or did she just pick that up herself?
I don't know.
Or did she have a teacher say that word for word?
Does it have any level of Do you have like the actual what the mom said?
I could probably pull it up.
Yeah, and I know there was a bunch of issues. I think this Virginia vote or the Virginia election was like a big one. So I guess there was a
Oh
bunch of
yeah, the whole swing
bunch
state
of
shit.
bunch of controversy behind it because I know there's a lot of parents that's like fighting against the whole like critical race thing. And then I remember I saw some commercial where some guy was saying like parents don't have a right to try to tell the teachers what to teach their kids or some shit like that.
Oh, that's gonna carry over to our next topic too.
Okay.
Here you go.
My children are now in private school and are thriving. We had specifically moved into chased out of LCPS with the swift and uncompromised agenda of Superintendents Ziegler and the school board that have forced upon us. First, it was in early spring of 2020 when my 6-year-old somberly came to me and asked me if she was born evil because she was a white person, something she learned in a history lesson at school. Then you kept the schools closed for a year and a half despite the science indicating that it was safe for kids to return. And now you've covered up a rape, then arrested, humiliated, and falsely accused her parents
The
of being
hell?
domestic terrorists. I wish I could return my kids to LCPS. Private school is expensive, and I want my kids to be able to walk home from school with their friends in their own community. I refuse to allow you to destroy our schools. They are not your schools, they are our schools. You all should be ashamed, and you should have the moral courage to admit you are wrong and step down.
Uh.
All right, put it like this. All right, so I'm just saying, like, all right, so I'm talking about this whole thing right here. Like, do you think that's healthy for a little 6-year-old to think that her
Nah, bro,
race is evil?
you should be.
Let's just
I
say
don't
it's
even think a
legit.
6-year-old should be even like looking at
Thinking like that, yeah.
yeah, color or
You shouldn't even
differences
be
and stuff
putting
like
that
that.
burden on them or that,
Yeah. Just I'm a boy, you're a girl. That's it.
yeah, because at the end of the day, it's like that. What I mean, I don't know.
I don't think I was even
I don't
looking
see
at that.
I don't see the benefit of that.
Yeah. Yeah. This is
We
just
need we
bringing.
need Corey, we need Corey for this one. You know what I'm saying? This is like his type of shit right here.
I just think just bringing this shit up.
Breaking it up as far as what?
I'm even bringing this whole topic up for a 6-year-old is, I don't know, like the whole, you like stunting their growth.
What you mean as far as what?
Like you're supposed to be like imagining things, and you know what I'm saying, anything is possible and stuff like that. And now you telling somebody, they evil and be on the lookout for this type of person, be on the lookout for this type of person. Like you creating a boogeyman and stuff like that. Racism is like a learned thing, so you literally teaching it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that shit wild though.
How do you break a cycle if you teaching a cycle?
Yeah. I mean, and is that supposed to bring everybody together through that shit? Is that supposed to create like a level of camaraderie amongst the people? I'm just trying to think of like what would happen to the mind of a 6-year-old who grows to believe that they're innately evil. And then I put it like this: like I remember remember that experiment that they did back in the day where they had like the little black kids and they gave them like the doll and they was like, which one is bad? And then all the black kids said that the black doll was bad.
That was in the.
Is this any different though?
That was in the Kaepernick jump.
Oh, for real? But what is the different? But is this different?
No, not at all.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, all right, if one breath you say, okay, when that was done to those kids, that was fucked up for them to believe that being black makes them, innately bad. So it's like, what's the difference between this situation? I don't think it's healthy for any kid to grow up in the world to think that just because of who their color of their skin, they should believe that they're innately bad. I don't give a fuck who you are. Where you come from. The sins of those who came before you. That's not that child. That's not that 2-year-old, that 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 8-year-old, 10-year-old. They have the opportunity to do the right thing or bad thing. Give these kids a chance, to make their own decisions instead of planting that shit in their brain, and then that's just gonna, influence how they operate just going into the future. Especially at 6 years old, if you put it in the child's mind that they're evil, at 6 years old, that's just gonna carry on, all the way into adulthood. And then, it's kind of like that same thing with us, as black people with the whole Black History Month shit in school. You get reminded you was a slave every fucking year. You know what I'm saying? From kindergarten all the way up to your senior year of high school, you just be reminded how you was getting your ass whooped, how you was getting hosed. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know if that's healthy, young, to be reminded how you used to get your ass whooped all the time. I don't know if that's good. You know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of abusive a little bit, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. Well, I mean, what you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't participate in that shit willingly, and maybe we do need I don't know, the other side stepping up.
What other side? What you mean?
Our side, like, is that beneficial?
Well, you mean our side as far as black people?
Yeah.
Like step up for what do you mean? Like step up as far as like we don't
saying this is yeah, like what's the point of teaching this? Like we should be
I got you. I know what you're saying.
We should be teaching, like stuff that we say, financial literacy and stuff like that. Like actually
well, I think a lot of times the parents, people just trust the school system. They trust the teachers. They be like, oh, these are teachers, they get trained, they know better than me. I'm just a regular person who has a kid. This is a person who gets trained to deal with children, this, that, and third. So believe it or not, some parents feel like the school knows better than them, and they'll just let the school teach them kids. Like a school could tell the parent, like, yeah, I think that, your son's, he wears pink shirts, so I'm going to start calling him, Suzanne, Charles Anna instead of Charles and shit. No, but you understand what I'm trying to say, though.
Yeah,
you get my point. It's like I'm gonna start calling your son Charles Anna because he likes to wear, pink shirts or some shit like that. So you at home, you at school, you at home every fucking day, don't even know that your so-called woke, your son's woke kindergarten teacher is telling him it's okay to, wear a skirt or some shit like that. And you would have no fucking idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the shit I'm talking about. Like, just little shit like that, but a lot of people, they just trusted the school. Like, they'll tell you that and you be like, okay, yeah, you're right, teacher. You know what you're talking about. You know better than me. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people are like that. It just is what it is. Mm-hmm. But that whole example I just used is real, nigga. I'm telling you. That's some real. Your child could be being raised by somebody who actually believes that gender is not a thing. Just keep that in mind, because these are not the same people. These people that's teaching these kids now ain't the same people who was teaching us. So I'm just letting you know there's a lot of wokeness going on in these schools. You're not. I'm being real. 9 times out of 10, your child has a woke teacher. 9 times out of 10, it's just a fact. Especially on this side of the country.
Yeah.
And really, for real, that's what these parents is fighting against. The wokeness. That's really what they're fighting against.
She also talked about, the mask and stuff too. All in the same breath.
It all ties together. It's all the same shit.
She said that.
So yeah. Crazy times, man.
So we break loose.
All right, so we got this Elon Musk thing going on.
Yeah, this is a kind of wild. Like you can talk about this shit multiple ways, and he got the 3-6, that whole thing going on. But supposedly, like whoever tweeted out from the UN Twitter was like bringing up Elon Musk, and then he came back, clapped back, and said he will give up $6 billion of his stocks, not liquid cash.
Yeah.
Of his stocks, saying if they can prove in numbers how to solve world hunger. And this kind of brings me back to like the whole argument that I had on previous episodes. Like, why do we always look at this man for like a savior? It's kind of fishy. He's kind of bucking the system, but look who the person is bucking the system.
Yeah. But the thing is, all right, so the $6 billion, so what is he trying to like prove though? So he's saying that I'll give y'all $6 billion. Can y'all solve world hunger off that? That's basically what he's saying. Like, what's the point he's trying to prove here? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I think it initially came from a UN tweet. Well, it came from 2% of Elon Musk's wealth. It came from a CNN post. 2% of Elon Musk's wealth could solve world hunger, says director of UN Food Scarcity Organization. So this could have been orchestrated from Git. It said if whatever can describe on his Twitter thread exactly how $6 billion will solve world hunger, I would sell Tesla stock right now and do it.
So he's basically telling them niggas that y'all ain't really trying to save. Yeah, y'all. Basically, he's saying like I'll give y'all $6 billion just to prove that that's not going to change shit, right? Is that what
right? It could be. It could be. Like they try and use him for clickbait, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Do it take more than that?
$6 billion. I mean, I think that I don't know exactly, but I will say that if people, let's say if we have the power to end it if we wanted to. But it's like that thing. It's like you can't give people what they want. You gotta give them just a little bit to keep them, on the.
But even if he gave $6 billion, right?
Yeah.
And he forced other philanthropists to chevy up something, could they solve it?
Nigga, 2% of his wealth is $6 billion. 2%, nigga, of his wealth is $6 billion. That's crazy.
But that's a CNN saying that.
Yeah, true. But that sounds crazy though, regardless. Can you imagine 2% of your wealth is $6 billion, nigga? That is nuts. 2% is $6 billion.
You know what 2% of my wealth is?
Nigga, that don't even sound like humanly possible, damn nigga. Like, how is 2% only $6 billion? Like, how do you count? How you count that? But what was the last question you said though? I know I was just so caught up in the 2%. I was like, what the fuck?
Do you know what 2% of my wealth is? Nah, I'm not gonna.
Oh, so he's basically saying, okay, explain to me how $6 billion. because I don't think just giving somebody 6
6
billion.
billion can
I feel
solve.
like world hunger is part of the system, bro. Like you gotta have poverty, you gotta have poor, like you have to have a standard for the bottom. Then you have to have these rich celebrities, these elites, these people,
6
got
billion
pet.
for how many days or hours
That's
to
what I'm
solve it?
saying. Like
Yeah.
I think world hunger is something that can be solved overnight, but I also do believe that it's part of what keeps this system going. Like you got to have people who have nothing, and then you have to have people who have more than they need to give the people in the middle something to strive for. It's like I don't want to be at the bottom, but then at least these people who will show me examples of what it's like to be an elite. Like this nigga got a pet elephant. Like that gives me something to work towards. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like part of what just makes this whole economic system work is, the fact that, but basically what I'm saying is what puts us on the conveyor belt to make the system go is the fact that we're trying to avoid being, a part of the people who are going to, that's going to be hungry. You know what I'm saying? It's like literally the reason niggas get up to go to work every day is to, to avoid hunger. It's like, nigga, I got to eat. I got to make sure I, got shelter. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't think it's something that's meant to be solved. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just part of what makes this shit go. That's how I look at it. So I feel like for him to be like, oh, tell me how $6 billion is going to solve world hunger, because he knows that just giving out, dishing out money ain't going to make the difference, because we got a whole system that's rooted in the haves and have-nots. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at this shit.
And all these headlines, no matter where you like go to, it's all the same headline.
Mm-hmm.
I can assure you that we have systems in place for transparency and open source accounting. Your team can review and work with us to be totally confident in such. Why he gotta do that?
I don't know. What you think? I mean, what's your hunch telling you?
My hunch is telling me like, I don't know. Like if he does do it, is he looking like a savior? If he, but this is the thing. Like we just provided vaccinations for a limited amount of people. They still sitting on the shelf. We could have solved hunger, probably in efforts of that 2 times over. So if you want to solve it, you can solve it. If you don't, you don't. And they kind of showing their face. But why are you dragging Elon in it? And he's kind of like one of these characters that I always said is like, I don't know. He's like sound like a fake ass Tony Stark. So,
I mean, you could put it like that's kind of who he represents.
But he's kind of like, I don't know, his whole like crypto stance and how he like fluctuates the market between Tesla and Doge and Bitcoin and all that stuff. And then if you want to solve like world hunger, like why is he being thrusted in the face of world hunger? Why aren't these nations of people that force this
Yeah, I know what you're saying, and that makes all the sense in the world. I think that's a sign of an agenda being pushed, because it goes back to that same conversation we was talking about with Enos Cantor last week. It's like, nigga, why are you trying to put all the problems in China on LeBron? That don't even make no fucking sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, nigga, what agenda are you pushing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because there's problems all over the world. So I think it's the same damn thing. It's like, why are you putting it on Elon Musk? You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, it's niggas with more money than him. It's like, why y'all trying to make it seem like it's his job to fucking save the world? It's people we've never heard of who has money and power,
even more resources,
and more resources that we can even fathom. These people exist and we don't know about them. Why is no pressure being put on these niggas? It's funny how it's always like the pressure is always put on a public figure to change the world, but it's people behind the scenes that we don't know with all the fucking power. So it just tells me that most of these celebrities and these faces you see, they're just pawns.
Yeah, I don't trust the story too tough.
Something to think about, though.
And he's supposed to be like, the whole savior with the Mars and shit.
Yeah, man. Who knows, man? How old is what's his name?
I don't trust him.
How old is Tesla? I mean, how old is Elon Musk?
Like 40.
Only reason I'm asking is because it's like I be feeling like certain guys they be having certain roles to play, and they may not
50.
He's exactly 50. I just saw that too. And he's from South Africa. That's kind of crazy. But
Yeah, I'm talking about so mother and father situation is kind of weird. He's worth 315 billion.
That's crazy. And he got a bunch of kids too. Damn.
A whole bunch of kids. Last kid's like AE artificial intelligence like type shit like that.
And he on his third marriage too. Oh no. He actually married the same woman twice, so he's okay. And he went to University of Pennsylvania. But like I was saying, I think like Elon Musk, he's still he's not old yet. So, who knows, 10, 15 years from now, he might be gray in a fucking wheelchair making decisions out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows what his whole overall storyline has in store for the future. But I will say it's significant to the overall storyline of what's going on in society now because they putting him up there with the Isaac Newtons and all them geniuses of the past, the Einsteins and if you type in Elon Musk, his name is going to be next to all the geniuses. So that tells me that this guy has a legacy that's going to lead for the next 100, 200, 300 years. You know what I'm saying? Like he's going to be in the conversation with those guys. So he's going to do something that's significant enough for us to talk about him for the next 200, 300 years. Because right now, nigga, off the top of your head, what has Elon Musk done for you to just be like, oh, that's the reason why he's so important? You know what I'm saying? Like off the top of your head, what can you actually say? Like, okay, I see why they talk about this nigga so much. See what I'm saying? So all that's telling me is that there's more in store for Elon Musk. You know what I'm saying? Because he has to do something that's going to solidify his legacy for 300, 400, 500 years. Because Einstein, they're still talking about. He's talking about Isaac Newton. They're still talking about all these super geniuses.
He needs a big
Tesla.
jump.
He needs something like that one moment that's going to solidify his legacy. Right. And I don't think it's happened yet. But I feel like they're prepping him,
especially
to be that
like
guy.
In the internet time where stuff is, here today, gone tomorrow. So you need something that's seamless.
Exactly. Because there's no way you're gonna put him next to Albert Einstein and he ain't did shit. You know what I'm saying? Like something's coming. Right. If it ain't come yet, it's coming.
Damn. Yeah. I never looked at it
like this is an important. I know, but this is like an important figure. The only reason why I know is because they put him next to all these super genius niggas from like 300, 400 years ago, longer than that. So he's going to do something. Yeah, that's just crazy.
All right, last topic. Speaking about something that's crazy. We talked about the whole Loudoun County situation, and even more closer, Fairfax County. Virginia woman says the FBI staked out her school board meeting, and I heard stories about this in the past. How FBI kind of like intervenes of like what's being said in PTA meetings or the whole critical race thing and all that stuff like that, making sure people don't get too up in a ruckus and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't know if there's any truth to this. I don't know.
Well, nigga, the FBI ain't gonna come out just to keep niggas. They could have hired security for that shit. You know what I'm saying? The FBI ain't there just because niggas might get a little antsy. Like, nah, they would have hired security for that shit. So that's wild. But I don't know. That sounds like thought police right there. That's what that sounds like to me.
Is it like them controlling like how we always say like they controlling the history as of right now?
Kinda. I mean, if the FBI is at PTA meetings, nigga, I've gone to like fucking.
I'll be blown if that's my assignment.
I've gone to back to school nights, nigga. The parents at the PTA meetings are no threat to nobody. So there's no fucking reason why FBI should be at a PTA meeting. That makes no sense. But like, all that's telling me is that there's an agenda that's being pushed, and they got to make sure like niggas ain't out here disrupting. So they got to know who the fuck has a mind of their own, and who's a threat to the overall movement and agenda.
Like dial it down, dial it down.
You know,
Yeah, this is crazy.
it's crazy. Like nigga, these are concerned parents for their children, and you got the FBI watching you because of your perspective on how the school is dealing with your children, bro. That's crazy. Like nigga, it's almost as if like, bro, the government is like, nigga, your kids are not your kids no more. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm getting from this shit.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it's not just one outlet too. Yeah,
Shit's crazy.
man, y'all got that.
And it's but just in general, it's like, what are we coming to right now as a society,
The
bro?
police
Like,
state.
I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how niggas sit back and thinking like our free, like we're becoming freer, nigga. Like our rights is like, nigga, it's closing in on us, you know, every day. Nigga, if the FBI is at a PTA meeting, that's all you need to know. Because if it was about people being rowdy, they just hire security, nigga. They don't need the FBI for that. And the
Right.
FBI
You
don't
trying to get
FBI don't come
across.
the FBI don't come out unless it's some real shit, nigga. Like
Right.
they ain't coming out for no fucking upset dad. You know what I'm saying? The soccer mom, they not coming out for no upset soccer mom. Like, come on, man.
It's like, oh, he can
It's
say
deeper
that.
than that. It's
Oh,
deeper than that.
he's saying critical words and stuff like that. Oh, we gotta take him out. You know, they're gonna chill in the back, you know, but until you start talking about this topic, we're gonna step in.
And not even or not even that, they might just see who's who, and then when the joint is over, they might just pop up at your house and have a quick conversation with you. You know, and then it's like, oh my gosh, the FBI just I've no, you know what I'm saying? Like that was scared niggas straight.
Right.
Like they'd be like, the FBI just
We're
came to
gonna
my
need
house.
you to
Like,
sit
nigga,
down for this one. We're gonna need you to sit
exactly,
down.
exactly. They're gonna like, bro, we don't need nobody that can
Uh-huh.
record what you just said and put it on social media, and then you know what I'm saying, like, no nigga, like shut up.
Mhm.
You know, and I think that's definitely something that'll get like, you know, a soccer mom to shut the fuck up. You don't know, you don't want no smoke with no goddamn FBI, but at the same time, when it comes to your kids, people don't give a fuck. Like a lot of times when it comes to your children, nigga, it'd be like, whatever, do what you gotta do, nigga. It's my kids. So we will see.
All right, so it don't look like we doing the overtime, but to get up out of here, and B talked about us like 2 weeks ago. Facebook is about to change the name to Meta and all this stuff and hold a metaverse, and this pretty much looks like how Ready Player One, the whole Oculus and
Yep.
virtual reality type, experience. People, the Matrix, and how we hooked up to these
Machines.
machines
Oh,
and just
computers. Yeah.
living an alternate life, being still living in this physical world. But I don't know, bro. Like, are people going to indulge in this and I don't know, kind of forget this physical realm, or
Yeah, we almost there already, man. You got a lot of people, you know, building up these online personas and shit like that. So that's just the first step. So if you can create, like, put it like this, you can be the most, you know, lame loser ass nigga in the real world, but you can be the most popping nigga online. A lot of people would rather be a fly nigga online than rather be a lame nigga in real life. You know what I'm saying? So why not? You can literally create an avatar that's like, bigger, stronger, faster, handsomer than you are in real life, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And you can build
like
that. And you can,
Free Guy?
yeah, you can literally
Yeah.
build some shit. You know what I'm saying? That's a better version
Your
of you.
skins.
And it's so crazy because it's realistic. Because I could literally, like, somebody could look at my avatar and be like, "That's a cool avatar. Fuck with it." You know what I'm saying? But in real life, they probably wouldn't like me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, yeah, I definitely believe that's a realistic thing because I feel like that shit's kind of playing out in real life right now.
And all these like games like Call of Duty and Fortnite and Apex, they always talk about skins. Like, you got to purchase these skins and apply. That's like your outer shell and stuff like that. So like this, I don't know. This is
It's realistic. We got Uber Eats. You know what I'm saying? We got all this. We got the quarantine. You know what I'm saying? Niggas getting used to being in the house. A lot of people not going back to work. Like, and that's the other part. Like the whole going to work and shit. That, like, it's a lot of people who literally just been working from home since quarantine, and even their job is like, yeah, niggas don't have to come back. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? So we're getting more and more used to not going out. So I wouldn't be surprised, if it actually got to that point. And look at this, Black Mirror 2011.
yeah.
They tell nigga none of this
That's
shit
what
is fake.
Daniel Kaluuya too. I remember that episode.
Nigga, none of this shit is fake, bro. Like none of this is fake. And that was in 2011. Like that's basically his My Player right there.
Yep.
Come on,
All
man.
the way back. Yep.
like I'm telling you, it's definitely going to get to the point where everyone's going to create. It's going to become so normalized in society where the real you doesn't even matter. It's your avatar is you.
And
You know
mind
what
you,
I'm
Mark
saying?
Zuckerberg is part of one of them elite families. He's a Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I
Look
mean,
that up.
look at Mark Zuckerberg's eyes.
Yeah,
Like, come on, man.
he's
He's not a regular
reptilian.
human. That nigga's not a regular human, bro.
He's a reptilian.
He's not a regular human. You can see it in his eyes. But either way though, man, like I was saying, they tell us everything on TV. They tell us everything in these movies. Like Black Mirror is important because Black Mirror likes to focus on technology. And your motherfucking phone is a Black Mirror. That's what this shit is all about, pretty much, nigga. Look at me. I'm holding the phone up to the joint, and you see the fucking reflection, nigga. That's a mirror. That's a black fucking mirror. That's what your phone is. So that's what they're talking about, technology, nigga. You know, it's like nothing. I guarantee you, almost everything you've seen on Black Mirror is probably eventually going to be able to happen at some point. You know,
Or already has.
or already has.
Yeah.
It's so crazy because a lot of these movies and all this shit, like none of that stuff is just like there's some truth that a lot of these things actually exist. It just seems quote unquote sci-fi, you know what I'm saying, to the average person. But like this inspiration comes from somewhere, from something real, you know.
Predictive programming.
But yeah, man, that I don't think about accident. Facebook, who knows? This whole Facebook jumps into metaverse, nigga. Like they're basically creating a whole new world, metaverse, a universe. They're creating a whole new universe. But but the thing is, was that the plan from the very beginning? Was Facebook just the I guess the proxy, if that's the right word, to you know push us in this direction?
Yes.
Now next thing you know, we got metaverse. So it went from Facebook of your real face. You know
I got
yeah.
what other company would have been?
Facebook pretty much.
Exactly.
Facebook owns Instagram, but look, Facebook owns Instagram. So I mean, like at the end of the day, it's all the same shit.
Exactly.
All the same shit. You know, and all that identity.
Try to think of another company that could stoop this low to make something like this happen. You can't. It
has to be Facebook because think about it. Like even through Instagram, people have created a fake ass personas.
Yeah.
So it's like nigga, they like okay, let's take it to the next level, nigga. Let's create a world of fake personas. Like you know.
And then look at this.
The thing that people don't. The thing people don't get. But the thing that people don't understand is that like that's going to take us away from humanity. That's going to take us away from our natural empathy for our next human being.
Just turn the game off.
Nigga, I could become an avatar named fucking Firestorm or some shit, nigga, and I say some shit in the avatar like nigga, the government's out to kill us, and the next thing you know, I'm gone and dead. And you never heard from me again, and they be like, oh, that's just the avatar. That wasn't a person. You see what I'm saying? Nigga, we're literally going to go into that point where you're not even going to have empathy for any living life because all life is going to come through the form of a fucking digital computer screen. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're going to be in our houses living our lives through a fucking computer. And if a nigga is gone, you're not even going to care because you never got to know him anyway. You just saw his digital representation. You know what I'm saying? So we are literally still going. Like, nigga, we said this one of the first episodes that we ever even tried on this podcast. This was a conversation, and nothing is going on in society. It's nothing's going away from deviating from that, nigga. It's still actually looking like it's going in that direction. And this is all based on that quarantine shit. Having niggas in their house, not going to work no more, and ordering Uber Eats. That's a sign.
So now, yeah, you know, now it seemed deliberate.
So now they're gonna say, "Oh, no, you can create yourself to be another." Nigga, it's ready. Nigga, that's the motherfucking Ready Player One. Nigga, we're literally about to be Ready Player One.
And it's crazy because like if you go on a lot of these streaming sites right now, what's the like top 5 trending movies right now? Ready Player One.
That's where we're going into right now, man. We're going, and it's so crazy because the key things about the key thing about Ready Player One. It was an apocalyptic society, so the world that they was living in was no longer the same world, and these niggas was like living in basically like ruins through their, but they were living in ruins in the real world, but through their computers it was like paradise. You know what I'm saying? It was like nigga, this is what like they didn't live life in reality; they lived life through their computers. You know, shit was crazy, and it was a post-apocalyptic world, which means that the that's the new world. You know, symbolism is like nigga, we're basically in the new post-apocalyptic world, quote unquote, and from like a you know what I'm trying to say, like not literally, but the world that we used to live in don't exist no more. That world before this quarantine shit is not coming back. It's not coming back. This is the new world, literally for real. You
Right.
know,
It's been 2 years since I've been wearing this damn
it's not
mask at
that
work.
shit, nigga. That shit ain't coming back. I mean, maybe the mask shit might go away, but as far as like
I doubt
the
it.
whole, wow, man, that nigga, that's like torture for me. Like just that you can't even see the emotion on people's faces. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah,
Yeah,
that's not cool at all, bro.
I doubt it.
We will see, man. You know.
Yeah. I hate to leave y'all with some doom and gloom, but yeah, over at the Flight Room Podcast, we like to hit y'all with some hardcore facts, and when we see fit, we want to bring y'all up. But if you got anything y'all want to touch on moving forward, whether it be sports on the fifth quarter, regular societal topics on the Flight Room Podcast, overtime, you know, conspiratorial topics or stuff that, particularly nobody wants to talk about, hit us up on overtime. But go us and DM us on Twitter, Instagram, email us. It's in the link tree. Uh, Stream us on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, all that and above. We are live each and every Wednesday on YouTube. Sorry we can't have all of us, but we try and make it better. I don't know, just send us recommendations, all that stuff, be interactive. But it's over here at the Fight Room Podcast. It's me, Remy Please, over here with Lighthouse. And I guess, we're gonna see y'all next week.
All right, peace, y'all.
We will holler.